And here is the Writer's Almanac for Sunday, September the 22nd, 2019. It was on this day, 1961, Congress approved a bill to establish the Peace Corps, and President John F. Kennedy signed it into law. 1888, on this day, the National Geographic magazine came out for the first time, a scientific journal, no photographs, published for the 165 members of the National Geographic Society. 1692, on this date, 8 citizens of the colony of Massachusetts were hanged for their connections to witchcraft, the last of the deaths caused by the Salem witch trials. There had been 11 other hangings. There were 5 who died in prison, 1 who was crushed to death because she refused to enter a plea. The trials took place over the spring and summer of 1692, after 2 young girls began displaying unusual behavior, convulsing and shouting blasphemous things and acting like they were possessed. The daughter and the niece of a minister named Samuel Parris. And then several other girls in town began acting strangely, and they named individuals as the cause, the ones who had bewitched them. Dozens of people, women, men, children, accused of and often jailed for practicing or supporting witchcraft. Many of the accusations seemed to fall along the lines of existing feuds, or were directed at people who, because they were poor or they were not members of the church, they lived on the margins, they were not likely to be able to defend themselves. By the time these final 8 were hanged on this day in 1692, people across Massachusetts were talking about the trials, and within weeks the governor declared spectral evidence was inadmissible, and then he barred any further arrests. He disbanded the local court, released many of the accused, but it wasn't until the following spring that he finally pardoned those who were still in jail. Here's a poem for today, a poem by Edgar Allan Poe that he wrote for his wife, Virginia Clem, after her death, her birthday today in 1822. Annabel Lee. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night-tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. And that's the Writer's Almanac for September 22nd, 2019. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.